Today we talk with PJ Harding about body image anxiety and its impact during her pregnancy.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
You are welcome.
I need glasses and I had them, but my dog ate them.
I'm nice and triggered, ready to go.
Sorry about that.
My God. It's okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you all.
Yeah, lovely
Nice
to see you.
you.
So this month is our body image anxiety special. When I heard the announcement that you were pregnant the other month, I was so excited for you because I know that you and your partner have had quite a long journey in the sense of you being over in Aussie, you coming back to New Zealand, settling down and not being on Kiss FM anymore.
Yeah.
And what's that transition sort of been like for you, going, becoming pregnant this, like what is it like?
It's I've been really, I guess, open and transparent about the whole journey because I think, as everything online, people like to portray only the good parts, right?
And
I've always been an open book with every experience I've had. And so, it's a real roller coaster. Like it is such a roller coaster physically and mentally.
What was it like when you found out you were pregnant? Because I followed this girl on YouTube and she was sharing her journey, on becoming a mother and like how she found out she was pregnant. And like she shared something that I didn't realize can happen to new moms, and is that she was saying that all of a sudden she felt like this immense responsibility and like she had to train herself to be a mom before actually becoming giving birth and becoming a mom, I guess. And like how that gave her like so much anxiety. She actually had to go to therapy during those 9 months so that she could like because it was overwhelming for her. So what was it like for you?
It's really interesting what comes up mentally for people. And I think, it is like a training ground for what's ahead. So it's like a lot of people's traumas probably come up. Maybe people who had issues with their own parents when they were growing up might come up, things like that might surface. For me, I just went numb. I was like, like, you always imagine that moment and then you're in it and you're like, and I just remember I didn't know what to do. I jumped in the bath. And I don't think you're even meant to have you're not meant to have hot baths when you're pregnant, but I didn't even know that at that point. So anyway, I jumped in.
Really?
Well, your body temperature is not meant to get super, super hot. I mean, this was actually not too hot a bath, so it was fine. But I was just like, that's how I'm dealing with it. I'm getting in the bath. I was like, oh, and then I was like, I do actually feel really bloated. And then I think I started like imagining all these symptoms like straight away, even though it was like 3 days, like my period was about 3 days late. So I don't think I was actually probably feeling anything yet, but it was a very, very surreal experience. And I think for it to actually sink into your brain that you're pregnant and everyone is so different, but for me it took a while. It did take a while, and it's still probably sinking in. It probably won't feel real until I actually have a baby in my arms.
Yeah. I don't know about anyone else, but every single month I convince myself I'm pregnant. Every single month I'm like a week before my period I'm like, great, this is happening, everybody. And then every time my period comes, I'm like, okay, every single month. So
I used to buy bulk buy. I used to literally buy. I used to buy pregnancy tests bulk.
Way.
And even before I'd even been sexually active, I had such a overactive imagination when I was younger. I thought that I could get pregnant from a dolphin, like when I was about 12, from swimming in the sea. So I've always been like you, very, very conscious.
That's very concerning.
I totally believe you. Somebody told me in not high school, elementary school, that you could get pregnant. Like if you shared a bathroom with a boy, like you could get pregnant by sitting. And
that's just horrible.
So I would be like a 12-year-old girl, just anxious every month because I got my period at 12. And, and I was like, I have to be pregnant. Like, there's no way,
Oh,
I
God.
have to, every single month I would
You
go to my
do.
school and be like, what am I going to tell my mom? And everybody would be like, why? I shared a bathroom with a boy.
I know. Oh my God, that makes me feel so much more validated that you kind of had a similar
Yeah.
situation.
And turns out that I just had a like super irregular period. I still do. So I don't know, if I get pregnant, I'll find out
Same.
like in month 3, 4 or 4, because I'm tiny and petite and I'm just like very, very irregular. So that gives me anxiety a little bit.
Yeah, but now you have an understanding of that and you don't have to jump to the pregnancy situation every time.
I wanted to ask because, I know you have done, like, over the years, you've been with various like personal trainers or like nutritionists and things. How have you found this change of like your body from not being pregnant to now being pregnant?
Yeah, again, that roller coaster is a real common theme during this whole process. And I've learned that I've had to surrender. And I've also learned that perhaps I was more concerned about my body image than I realized. For me, I've really erred on the side of caution and I've gone slower, and that has meant that my body has changed. And I do find myself actually talking quite negatively to myself at times, and I have to check myself. I have to really call myself out, because it's such a beautiful time you're going through. You're creating a human, yet there's this voice in my head going, ugh, you look disgusting. Oh my God, your thighs are just blowing out. Like, seriously. And it has been a bit of a not struggle, but it's been interesting to hear the thoughts that have come up in my head. And you're never going to be the same again. I think it's accepting that as well. Like, you're moving into the role of being a mother, and with that comes amazing changes. That you just sort of have to look at things differently, because it's like, why do I care so much? Why do I put so much into that? What actually matters? You know what I mean?
What is your routine like these days? Like, obviously, aside from your, daily, activities, are you doing like, because you speak of intrusive thoughts, right? Are you like journaling? What are you doing to sort of like keep yourself in check?
Yeah, journaling is something I'm not consistent at, but when I do it, I find profound benefits. In fact, like at the beginning of the pregnancy, when it was really overwhelming and I was like, because it hit me in waves, just the intensity of how my life's going to change and all the fears that sort of came up around what was to come. And every time I journaled, oh my gosh, I would just feel a weight off my chest. And oh, it was insane. Like, and I'd be such a nicer person to my partner as well. Like, I'd noticed that whenever I would internalize all these thoughts and they weren't going anywhere and they were literally trapped in there, I would project onto my partner about something completely different, right? So like, I don't know, something pedantic about something in the kitchen not being put away or something like that.
Right.
And then, like something completely trivial. And then I go and journal, and then I realize, oh, there's a little root issue here that we have not obviously acknowledged, that's feeling a little unheard inside. So as soon as I get that on paper, it definitely helps me. But yes, my problem with it is that I'm not always consistent. But I do other things in the sense of meditation or walking or yoga, or even just...
You can find today's episode and our previous episodes of the Anxiety Chats podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. A link to the full episode will be in the description below.